time for live commentary here on Sportsound. Georgia against Scotland with Craig Levine, Willie Miller and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. Good evening, everyone. Well, Tbilisi has often been the graveyard of Scotland European Championship campaigns, but not so much this evening with qualification already in the bag. Now let's take a listen first of all to Florida, Scotland. Plenty of Scotland fans over in Tbilisi making themselves heard as ever as they roar on their side to hopefully a 6th win of this qualifying campaign. Georgia, though, will be out to stop that. They've got a fantastic home record. And here comes their national anthem. Plenty of emotion on show from the Georgian players as they look to finish their campaign strongly and prepare for the playoffs in March, where they've secured a spot through the Nations League. Manager Willie Sagnol talking about that this week, looking to end strongly. They've lost just one game in their last 10 here in Tbilisi. And Steve Clarke, though, looking to end a run of 3 straight defeats, which his side have suffered against the highest calibre of opposition, you have to say. 2 of those in friendly matches, but Clarke will not be content with that. He'll want to get back to winning ways and build momentum for the finals in Germany next summer. Of course, this is his 50th match in charge of Scotland. No manager who's taken charge of over 30 games has a better winning percentage than he. He can get to 50% with a victory this evening, and that's exactly what he'll be looking for. The Scotland team for this evening: Zander Clarke in goals, his first start for Scotland. The back 4 of Ryan Porteous, Scott McKenna, who's not been playing recently for Nottingham Forest, not played since the middle of September. Greg Taylor at left back, Nathan Patterson at right back, Billy Gilmore and Callum McGregor anchoring the midfield, as we've become so accustomed to McGinn and McTominay. We reckon slightly further forward as Scott McTominay looks to go beyond his 6 goals in this qualifying campaign, and then Ryan Christie as well, and Lyndon Dykes playing up top. As for Georgia, they've got the Valencia goalkeeper Mamardashvili in goal. 3 of their back 5 played in the 2015 victory against Gordon Strachan's Scotland in Tbilisi. Those are Guram Kashia, the captain, over 100 caps, Solomon Kirkvelia and Oscar Otar Kakabadze. Luka Lokoshvili and Levan Shengele also make up the back 5. In midfield they've got Nika Kveskiri, Georgi Kokorashvili, and then up front Georgi Chakvedadze of Watford, Georges Mikautadze of Ajax, and then their star player, 12 goals in his 26 caps, Napoli's Ficha Kvaratskhelia, or Kvaradona as they call him in Naples. Fantastic dribbling ability, He's got 3 goals, 5 assists for Napoli this season, pivotal in their Scudetto win, our first in 33 years last season. He'll be Georgia's main attacking threat as they look for a 3rd win of this Group A campaign. Scotland going for victory number 6. The players are lined up and ready to go in a packed arena in Tbilisi, home of Dinamo Tbilisi. And Scotland missing so many key players, of course. Captain Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney, Aaron Hickey, 3 of the 11 starters, you would reckon. And Scotland get things underway in Georgia. Straight back to Scott McKenna, who goes with the left foot, looks for the switch of play out to Lyndon Dykes on the right-hand touchline, but it sails straight out of the park. And Scotland look to pin Georgia back early on. And Willy Sagnol is part of the France side, the Georgia manager, is part of the France side that benefited from Scotland's defeat here back in 2007 under Alex McLeish. And also that defeat as well without scoring 1-0 in Euro 2016 when Scotland missed out on a playoff place behind Germany, Poland and the Republic of Ireland. None of that worry or concern this time around with the job done. Just the motivation to put in a performance and keep up the momentum and build more confidence, more cohesion ahead of next summer's finals in Germany. Here's Patterson, gets it on halfway on the right-hand side. Well, the referee's blown the whistle here. Looks like the ball is burst. The referee's, not happy with it.
That's the second one, Thomas. They changed the ball before the start of the game as well.
Well, I don't know who's in charge of blowing them up, but
nobody by looks of things.
They'll be in trouble. So the referee is happy with this one for now, at least, and Scotland get things going down the left-hand side. It's knocked back to Scott McKenna in alongside Ryan Porteous, who picks up the ball at the back. Now of Watford, of course. Here's Patterson, right-hand side. Georgia just sitting back in their sort of back 5. Scotland going side to side at the moment. Here's McKenna, left-footed pass along the deck to Greg Taylor, infield to McGregor. Georgia step in and win the throw-in off McGregor. Cagey stuff in the opening 2 minutes in Tbilisi. Scotland's aiming to banish those demons. Not even scored a goal in their 2 qualifiers here before. This team has already gone beyond what many before have fallen short of. Another thing for them to tick off a victory in Georgia. Here's McTominay, middle of the pitch, turns, forced backwards all the way back to Porteous, who's charged down by Kvaratskhelia. Goes back to Zander Clark, who's under pressure from the Georgia forward, and then puts it long. Georgia let it bounce, and it'll go all the way through to the centre-back. Knocks it back to the goalkeeper, who's shacked that into touch with the left foot under pressure from Lyndon Dykes. So a few nerves on show at the back for both teams there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Dykes gives you, doesn't it? I mean, he chased the lost cause there and put the goalkeeper under pressure, who's just sliced the ball out the pitch.
Yeah, good goalkeeper as well, Georgi Mamardashvili, playing for Valencia, just 23 years old. Talented player. But he got that one all wrong. Scotland have the ball through Christie, knocks it to the left-hand touchline, and Taylor drops the shoulder, tries to drive the ball infield to Dykes, who tries to turn the defender, but it doesn't take it under his control, and Georgia will stride forwards through Mikhautadze, gives it off to the right-hand side, and it's infield here now for Kakabadze. He's tackled, it's breaking in the middle of the pitch for Scotland. It's given away though by Billy Gilmore, and then wins it back. Georgia want a foul, they're not going to get it. Callum McGregor breaks up over the halfway line. He's looking for support, knocks it 5 yards infield to Ryan Christie, who's charging towards the edge of the box. There's 2 red jerseys in front of him, he's into the box, knocks it to the left to Callum McGregor, but he's put it too far in front of his former Celtic teammate. It's behind for a goal kick, 0-0. 4 minutes nearly on the clock.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, wasn't the heavy pass there forward by Ryan Christie, and Callum McGregor actually getting himself well forward in that break. I actually thought that it was a free kick. Thought the referee was going to give it against Billy Gilmore. Looked as though he was late with the challenge, but Scotland taking advantage of it, hitting really quickly on the break, creating the opportunity, but just that heavy pass from Christie letting it down.
Scotland throw in just inside the Georgia half. It was all the way back to Scott McKenna in the side, and then Porteous, who has started every game since his debut, bar that friendly in France. It's been a remarkable introduction to the national team for Ryan Porteous, become a fixture of that defence. Here's Gilmore on halfway, goes long with the pass with the right foot, finds Taylor, who jinks away from one Georgia player, that gives it to Gilmore in the centre circle, right foot up along the deck to McGinn, who then slid it into the right hand side behind for Nathan Patterson, who just is beaten to the ball by Shengelia, and he's knocked it behind for a corner.
It looked as if Patterson was going to get there, didn't it? It was a good recovery by Shengelia.
It's good build-up play though, isn't it? You know, it's quite calm. You know, Billy Gilmore taking real control in the midfield there, working deep alongside these two centre backs as well, and the build-up's good. It's looking confident. They're finding spaces and they're creating little openings.
Corner to Scotland. It's going to be Billy Gilmore to take from the right-hand side, right-footed. It's low. It's peeled back and it's fired over the crossbar by Scott McTominay. Scotland's man for goals in this campaign, 6 so far, and he's not happy with himself.
That was off the training ground, that one, wasn't it? I mean, there's a pull back to round about the penalty spot for McTominay to come into that hole late, but he just didn't manage to keep the ball down, and it flew over the crossbar.
I would suggest it wasn't an easy one to take though for McTominay. You know, obviously they have practiced it. It seemed to come off the surface as well pretty quickly. Here
come Georgia though, through Kvaratskhelia, has one-on-one with Porteous, jinks past him, then puts the cross in. It's cut out though by Scott McKenna, out for a throw-in on the near side. Kvaratskhelia is either appealing for a foul or for support from his teammates. Either way, he didn't get any of those. And Ryan Porteous, a bit of a heart-and-mouth moment, because he did lunge in for the challenge in the box on Kvaratskhelia. A little warning sign for Scotland. It's Georgia 0, Scotland 0, 6 minutes played into Tbilisi, and Callum McGregor intercepts the ball into the edge of the box. Now he's charging up towards the halfway line. He's right on the right-hand touchline, and he's squeezed out and runs it out of play. It'll be a Georgia throw-in, but that's not what Scotland want. Craig Levein is Kvaratskhelia one-on-one with defenders on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, he's tricky, isn't he? And then they just have to be a little bit cautious and not dive in, stay on their feet, use your arms to sort of force them into wider areas. But he's a good player, so it's something that Scotland will definitely need to watch out for tonight.
Scotland with the ball here through Greg Taylor, give it to the left-hand touchline, and 16-year-old Lamine Yamal has put Spain 1-0 up in Cyprus in their penultimate qualifier, so they look well on course to top the group. Of course, Scotland's looking to get a couple of wins to finish that would at least give them a good chance of getting into pot 2 for the Euros draw on the 2nd of December, but there's a foul here against Scotland. Nathan Patterson with an arm into the face of Georgi Kokorashvili. It'll be a free kick for Georgia in their own half.
I'm just wondering if he got a yellow card there at the same time. We didn't see it was out of view, but he looked a little bit angry. Maybe he's just complaining that it wasn't a free kick. I think it was totally accidental there when Patterson put his arm up. I thought it was a kind of a natural movement, you know, just to get himself off from a standing start, but there's no doubt that it was a free kick because it got the Georgian player right in the face.
He has gone in the book indeed, and here come the Georgians on the left-hand side. It's given away straight to Porteous as they look to break in numbers. Scotland with the ball now through McTominay. He's surged over the halfway line. He's not got too much support. He's knocked it to Greg Taylor on the left-hand side. And then here's Scott McKenna with it on the halfway line. Left-footed pass along the grass to Taylor and knocks it into Dykes, who's collected it on the left-hand side of the box. Then knocks it to Ryan Christie on the touchline, backwards to Taylor, infield to Gilmore, first time back again to Scott McKenna, and Scotland will have to start again. You're listening to Sports Sounds, BBC Radio Scotland, this Group A qualifier between Georgia and Scotland. It's 0-0 after 8.5 minutes into Tbilisi. No real chances to speak of so far. Here's Nathan Patterson, who picked up an early yellow card for that little hand into the face of Kokorashvili, which, as the guy said, was accidental. He's fizzed the pass into McTominay on the edge of the box. McTominay looking to get into the penalty area. He's gone down under a challenge. The referee says he's gone down too easily. Perhaps a booking for diving then should have been forthcoming if that was the referee's position, but it's play on. Kokorashvili has it, knocks it back to Kvaratskhelia, then looks for the long ball.
You know, Thomas, I think the pitch has been really heavily watered just before kick-off, and there's been quite a number of players slipping. Let's hope it doesn't lead to a goal, unless it's for Scotland, of course.
Here is Taylor, left-footed pass, gets it back. He's looking for space down the left-hand touchline. He's made a run beyond, but it's as far as Christie, and it's knocked back again to Scott McKenna. Scotland squeezed up into the Georgia half. The Georgians just dropping off the game for now. Here's Patterson, right-hand side, into the middle where Gilmore, first time to McGinn, then back to Gilmore, looked for the first-time pass to Patterson, who'd made a run, but Georgia turned the ball over. Here's Kvaratskhelia, just over halfway, tries to jink past Porteous, who gets a really good challenge in, and then it breaks for John McGinn, who uses that famous backside of his to draw a foul from Kokorashvili. And there's another ball that's it is, the players unhappy with this ball now. It's been knocked off the park. That's the, well, surely not a third ball. It's
looks
like
it.
Or burst.
It looks like it. It's another ball that's
incredible. In the opening 10.5 minutes,
changed, yeah.
John McGinn's presenting it to the referee to be examined, and he's going to take the throw in. He's going to throw it back to the goalkeeper, Mamardashvili.
I think somebody would have been blowing the other balls up in the meantime.
Well, yeah, I don't know what's going wrong in Tbilisi, but we've had 3 balls used in the opening 11 minutes. On we go. Scotland trying to put the pressure on, but Ryan Christie is giving away a free kick, much to his bemusement. Foul on Otar Kakabadze over on the far side. Scotland's not too many chances to speak of. Interested to see if we could see that McTominay foul, non-foul again, because he looked like he was going to get into the box. But he went down, the referee was having none of it. It was play on. Well, Georgia 0, Scotland 0, 11.5 minutes played in Tbilisi. Scotland looking for their 6th win, as the keeper's just shelled another one. It's gone straight out the pitch again from Mamardashvili. I was giving him the big build-up before the game, but he's put 2 straight out the pitch so far for Georgia.
Well out the pitch as well, isn't it? I mean, you're not talking that's close and he's unlucky. You're talking about it looked as though it was deliberate, that he was just playing it out of the pitch.
Oh, he's just going to blame the ball, isn't he? We'll get another one replaced. On we go. Scotland's coming down the left-hand side through Greg Taylor, outside of the boot. Short pass to McTominay, infield to Christie, whose first time ball into the box was looking for a teammate, but it just bounced into the arms of Georgi Mamardashvili. And the danger gone from a Georgia point of view. Georgia, well, they've had a solid campaign with our 2 wins over Cyprus, a good 4-0 win last time out. They might have expected better of themselves. They've been excellent over recent years. They've just 1 defeat in 13 games before this campaign started. Excellent in the Nations League and League C, topped their section. Billy Sagnol, former France defender, Bayern Munich as well, has made them into a good side, but qualification is still on for them through the playoffs. Here's Kvaratskhelia jinking away from a couple of players in the centre circle, then it's played forwards to the left-hand side. Georgia trying to probe through Chakvetadze, and he's going to take a shot from long range with the right foot, but it's comfortable enough for Zander Clark. Well, it was on target, low across the grass, but he was able to stop it with ease.
Yeah, it was straight out to Zander Clark. He did, you know, he didn't make it look too comfortable. He did parry it out and took it at the second attempt, but he was never going to let that one go by him. And it's from what, maybe 25-30 yards as well. The shot low, not a great deal of power on it. It's right at the goalkeeper. Should be an easy take, and it was.
Porteous past to Gilmore. It's not been the fastest tempo game so far in the opening nearly 14 minutes, no goals. That was the first strike we've had from Georgios Mikautadze, and it was a comfortable one for Zander Clark.
You know, Thomas, maybe teams are starting to show Scotland more respect. It seems to be that in this game in particular, Georgia is sitting off and looking just to defend quite deep, which is, you know, for me, for them playing at home, I thought they'd been more on the front foot.
Here's Kvaratskhelia, passes backwards from the halfway line, and now Georgia switch it to the left-hand side, and there's a cross in, and Kvaratskhelia was making a run from deep. Cross came in from the left, but he was far too far behind it, and then Taylor tries to play it off the Georgia defender Kakabadze, but he's not managed to do it. He's nudged it out for a throw-in. Georgia get on with it fairly quickly. Coming down the right, but Scotland forced them back. It's on to the captain, Guram Kashia, 108 caps, played all 6 qualifiers prior to this one. Start number 7, infield now for Chakvatadze, and the interceptions misses out to the right-hand side into the near post where Kvaratskhelia slides in, and Georgia lead into Tbilisi. And it's their star man, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, who slides in to meet a cross at the near post. He turns it beyond Xander Clark, and 15 minutes played, it's Georgia 1, Scotland 0.
Well, it's a well-worked goal, isn't it? Kvaratskhelia eventually getting the little touch at the near post, and it's a really intelligent run by the striker. He gets in front of the defender. There's a lot of responsibility. Just 2 central defenders there found wanting, and he gets a magnificent touch. He knows exactly what he's doing, but the quality of the pass from midfield and then the cross in, I think it's Ryan Porteous that's sliding in, trying to get the challenge in, but he's got the march on him, he's ahead of him, and when that happens inside the box, it's almost inside the 6-yard box as well, but it's all about the cross and the quality, isn't it?
Wonderful early cross.
Yeah.
It really is. He just made his mind up to put the ball in first time. And when you're a defender running back towards your own goal like that, sometimes you could put the ball into the net yourself in those situations. But the Georgian forward just got ahead of Ryan Porteous and managed to get a toe onto the ball and push it past Xander Clark.
Well, he's an idol in Tbilisi, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. He's their star man, the Napoli player. It's his 13th goal and just his 27th cap for Georgia. Just 22 years old, and he's lighting up European football, and he's got Scotland in trouble again in Tbilisi as John McGinn goes down under the tackle, gets the free kick. Scotland now have some thinking to do. It's been a bit of a slow start from Steve Clarke's men, missing some key men of course, but still a strong 11 out there, crucially of course as well with qualification already wrapped up, but they will want to finish strongly.
There's not too many games that Scotland will play where the opposition, set up the way Georgia have set up. Really, given Scotland the ball completely in Scotland's own half, allowing them to come into the opposition half as well, and only then putting them under pressure just outside the box, and hitting Scotland on the break. And obviously with just the 2 centre backs as well, with a centre back down, and that opening and that goal I think showed a little bit of frailty.
It also showed they had real quality as well, Willie, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Nathan Patterson, who went on a run through the middle of the pitch there and was met with a really strong sliding challenge in the edge of the box. It's gone out for a throw in, he takes it, gives it to McGinn, he's on the byline, tries the cross, comes off the defender. Scotland corner, John McGinn struggling, as is the player he's collided into. It's been marshalled by Shengelia. Both players have taken a sore one.
Well, he was holding his hip there, wasn't he, John McGinn? I mean, he looks okay. I think Shengelia, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, there was just a bit of a tussle. There wasn't any real tackle in it as well. So, both players suffering from that little collision.
It was quite a wrestling match though, wasn't it? I mean, the 2 strong lads.
Yeah,
John McGinn shaking his head, and we've been shown some images of old Rocky the Baby celebration from the Georgian players after Kvaratskelia's goal. What a talent he is, and interesting that Willie Sagnol was saying in his press conference this week that they want to play him through the middle as opposed to out on the left where he plays for Napoli, where he can do more damage. Scotland goes short with a corner from the right hand side. It's back to Billy Gilmore, out to Christie on the right hand side, comes in on the left foot, he tries to put the cross in, it's blocked. Under it is Billy Gilmore, who heads it for John McGinn in the box, takes a touch, turns, tries to get on the left foot, shot blocked, and it's come back to the edge where Gilmore's going to take the strike, but he lashes it over the crossbar. Well, that's as dangerous as Scotland have looked in the opening 19 minutes.
Yeah, when the ball's come back to Billy Gilmore there, I think he could show a little bit more composure. And not often you say that about Billy Gilmore, but Patterson was free on the right hand side, and he's chosen to take the shot on and he's blazed it well to the bar. And Patterson was quite annoyed actually.
Yeah, now, apart from that, Scott McTominay strike from the corner, that block shot from John McGinn, and subsequent effort from Gilmour is threatening as Scotland have looked really. Georgia have the lead crucially through Kvaratskhelia, and now there's a bit of a coming together. John McGinn pushing and shoving with Zaskiri. Not happy about a tackle that went in. A free kick has been given. And Ryan Porteous pointing to the referee. It's McGinn involved with Chakvetadze. Well, he barges into Kvaratskhelia a wee bit, John McGinn, but there's not a huge amount in that, surely.
He's annoyed about something though, isn't he? Something's happened at some point.
It's the burst balls. Well, the referee's having a word with Kvicha Kvaratskhelia and John McGinn, just saying, lads, I've had enough. Stop it. And there was a little barge from John McGinn, frustrated. Be a free kick for Georgia, and they move forwards. Played out to Shengelia on the left-hand side, the wing-back. He's forced backwards, all the way back to Lokoshvili, this left centre-half, into Kashia, back to Lokoshvili. Tries a pass through the middle, but it's going to go straight to Scott McKenna, Scotland's left centre-back. Gives it to Taylor, then along the deck to Porteous. Right-footed pass to Patterson, who's on the halfway line. He looks up, then turns back. Georgia, as soon as they lose the ball, just getting back into their shape, forcing Scotland to try and come through the middle or go right round the outside, where there's very little space for them to work. McTominay to Patterson, first time round the corner looking for McGinn, and it's going to go straight out the pitch, and it's Georgia 1, Scotland 0, 21 minutes played.
I don't know what you think, Craig, but surely our full-backs are the targets there, because the way they're playing with the 5, the 3 in the middle and 2 up top, our full-backs are clear, you know, to take passes, take possession. You know, if they demand it, I think that's where we've got to go. The 2 centre-backs have got easy possession, no pressure on them whatsoever. But for me, our full-backs are the ones that should be initiating the attacks.
Kvaratskhelia put Scott McKenna under pressure. He's facing own goal, go back towards the byline, does get a lashed clearance away with the left foot, which Billy Gilmour picks up, or it's Ryan Christie rather, who picks up and then manages to win a free kick because he's shoved in the back by Kakabadze, who was the one who put in that wonderful low first-time cross for Kvaratskhelia to open the scoring. It's a difference between the sides with the first quarter of this game gone. Scotland trailing. Here's Gilmour, closed down, goes back to McKenna, along to McTominay, who's dropped deep in his own half. Pass over halfway to Taylor, back to McKenna. Scotland needs to come up with some answers here to try and get themselves into the final third, because they're struggling at the moment. That's better from Patterson into Dykes, then round the corner to McTominay, onto the edge of the box. Here's Ryan Christie's touch is heavy into the penalty area, and the defender steps in and makes the challenge. Now Georgia can break through. Kvaratskhelia tries to go round Porteous. He makes a really good challenge out for a throw-in.
Yeah, Ryan Christie just a little bit unfortunate not to get control of that ball. That was a better attack from Scotland.
Yeah, it was a good pass into Lyndon Dykes from Nathan Patterson, who then flicked it on first time, and that got Scotland on the front foot. Ryan Christie just running out of play in the end. Here's Kakabadze for Georgia in his own half into Kokoshvili, back to Guram Kashia, the veteran centre half, captain, onto Lokoshvili, the left centre half, plays for Cremonese, was a teammate briefly of Jack Hendry's when Hendry was on loan there a year 18 months ago. Here's Kakabadze on the right-hand side. He's moving towards the right-hand corner of the box. Couple of step-overs. He's come inside 2 defenders. Then puts the left-footed cross in. It's deflected to the edge of the box. Chance for the strike. Scotland get it away, and Georgia will come again through Chakvetadze. Then Kokoroshvili. Kashia. Kvaratskhelia on the left-hand side. He's one-on-one with Patterson. Goes to the byline. Jicks back in field. Then away again. Patterson stands his ground and eventually uses his body to earn the goal kick. Having initially been beaten, he recovered well, and he's claimed he's taken a little swipe from Kvaratskhelia in the process. It'll be behind for a Scotland goal kick.
Yeah, he just has to make sure that you know that he's not watching the body movement of Kvaratskhelia there as he goes towards the byline, and and make sure he keeps his eye on the ball, because there's a lot of movement, a lot of body movement there. But he does well, I think, Patterson, and thwarting that threat down our right hand side.
Breaks again, Kvaratskhelia. He slipped it into the box. It's Shengelia, saved by Clark, beaten away, and Kokorashvili can't pick up the rebound on the edge of the box. The Georgians are enjoying themselves. They come in again down the right hand side. Cross comes in, it's pulled back. Shot comes in, deflected by the near post by Callum McGregor. Oh, incredible stuff. Mikautadze, I think, thought he'd scored. The block came in, and Scotland on the ropes.
Yeah, they're working this counter-attack really well, Willie, aren't they? Yeah. I mean, this is another 2 attempts at goal. Lightning quick on the counter-attack.
Yeah, I think it's Shengelia, is it, that has the strike with the left foot. It's a decent save.
It is a good save, yeah.
From Xander Clark. If they'd been a little bit further to his left-hand side, they might not have got it. Second opportunity there as well. So Scotland really are on the rack just now.
It was Dykes that made that block at the near post. Corner comes in. Scotland head on it. It's still in the box though. Tried to be taken down by Kakabadze, and then the flag has gone up on the far side, and Scotland will survive that phase of play. But boy, they had some defending to do there. Xander Clark beats away Shengelia's effort, and then Dykes with a block on the follow-up effort when it came back in. Georgia look sharp, they look up for this. Scotland a bit lethargic. They've been training in Turkey at the start of the week before flying over a bit later to Georgia. Break up the journey, and here is Porteous, but they're looking a wee bit out of sorts in this opening 26 minutes, trailing by a goal to nil in their penultimate Euro 2024 qualifier. Qualification in the bag, but they'll be disappointed with this opening 26 minutes. Here's Patterson. He's coming infield from the right hand side, and he's played it in behind for Lyndon Dykes. It's pulled back. The referee's whistle doesn't go, and then Dykes takes a shot. He's blocked, but that was a blatant pull out by the defender, and Dykes cannot believe it. He's looking at the linesman.
Yeah, I mean, dare I say it, maybe he should have gone down. You know, that's the thing. I mean, he's definitely been pulled back. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's a skipper, isn't it, Cashier, that he pulls his arm there, and the referee, okay, he can let a little bit of advantage go there, but the central defender actually gets back goal side
because of the pull.
Yeah, because of the pull. So there isn't any advantage there. He's got to have a free kick and either a word with Cashier or a yellow card.
I think that's a yellow card all day long, Willie.
It's the most blatant. It's the most blatant pull you'll ever see. And yeah, Lyndon Dykes was, well, he was going to get a shot away there if you know, if he wasn't pulled back there. So yeah, interesting one from the referee.
Maybe you're allowed to pull the arm, but you're not allowed to pull the jersey. Maybe that's the rules over there.
Well, Scotland, the consolation is they have a free kick on the right hand side, almost in line with the 18-yard line. Billy Gilmore's going to take it, and he puts the arm up. Scotland have been a threat from set pieces. Good height in there with McTominay, McKenna, Porteous. Gilmore is going to take it on the right foot. He's got plenty of bodies in there. Scotland, it's fired into the edge of the 6-yard box, and Dykes gets a free header on it, edge of the 6-yard box, and he's glanced it by the post. What a chance that was for Lyndon Dykes in Scotland to level.
That's a bit better though, isn't it? I mean, that's a really good ball into the box. There wasn't an awful lot of pace on it, and Lyndon Dykes has had to try and generate more pace. But I mean, he's off target with a header, but it's more encouraging for sure.
It's a big chance though, isn't it, Craig? You know, you'd expect them to at least hit the target, at least make the goalkeeper work. If not, I suggest that that should have ended up in the back of the net, because it was well flighted, great delivery. You know, in from Billy Gilmore as well, and Dykes gets himself in front of the defender, and I think he should score.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an argument for that. At least the point that you made about getting the header on target is the most important thing, isn't it?
Scotland come forward. Gilmore with the long diagonal, the right foot, but it's too long for Ryan Christie. So Georgia 1, Scotland 0 is the scoreline as we approach the half-hour mark. Kvaratskheilia's goal. The difference between the sides, just the one goal for Lyndon Dykes in this campaign so far. It was a huge one. The equaliser in Oslo. Scotland came back from the dead. What a result that was in the campaign. Changed the complexion of everything after the wins against Cyprus and Spain. Just lifted everything. And Scotland have not looked back on their way to reaching Germany, but they're a wee bit of bother here in Tbilisi. as Taylor goes to take the throw into the feet of Callum McGregor. Goes back to McKenna on halfway into Gilmore. First time pass back to McKenna. Again, he's looking for an option, the centre half. Gives it to McGregor, who's out on the left-hand touchline in field for Gilmore. Takes a little look up and he's gone long with the right foot. He's looking for the run in behind from Patterson, but again, it was nowhere near him. And Scotland just being a bit frustrated at the moment.
That's the right idea for me, though. I think the switch of play quickly from one side to the other, because when the picture pans out, you can see that the Georgians are all over the other side of the field where the ball is, and this side is clear. So I think the ball needs to get out to Patterson as quickly as possible, allow him to use his speed to get forward, and maybe we can cross from there.
Georgia trying to play out from the back. Here's Kasia in his own box. He's running across his 6-yard box. John McGinn's in the vicinity, doesn't get to him. Kokorashvili back to Kakabadze, who decides enough's enough, puts the right boot through it. Kvaratskhelia goes up, loses out with Porteous. In fact, well, the referee's telling him to get up. He wants a free kick in the centre circle. Porteous just used his body, and then Kvaratskhelia is still down, so the referee stopped play, much to Scotland's frustration. And that's...
I mean, we're just watching a replay there.
Don't see enough of what.
No, Kvaratskhelia goes down. I think he's maybe
the feet touched. Yeah, and that's all it was, and he's gone down as if he's been stood on.
Yeah, there was contact for sure as they both challenged for the ball, but it looked innocuous, as you have to say. But Kvaratskhelia is still down, and the magic sprays out. So Georgia will want to get him back to his feet. But what an opening 31 minutes it's been for them. They are just so strong at home. Just the one defeat in their last 10, as I said. It was a thumping defeat, a record defeat to Spain. They lost 7-1, but it was just a bit of a blip, really. Spain were seriously in the moods as they've kind of found their form in the second half of this qualifying campaign, and they look like they're going to go on and top the section, as we see some pictures of Scotland fans looking on. Nathan Patterson has a word with the referee. He's frustrated that that was stopped, and it is always a thing. It wasn't a head injury from Kvaratskhelia, so the referee doesn't have to stop play. It's probably what Patterson was kindly asking. On we go. Here's Taylor. Kvaratskhelia is back, no harm done, jogs to his feet, the goal scorer. Here's Billy Gilmore in the centre circle as Scotland try and get themselves on the front foot and get themselves back level. Lyndon Dykes' header wide is good a chance as they've had so far, and the ball was played into Dykes, but he miscontrolled it, and Kokorashvili comes away with it, plays it up the right hand touchline for Kakabadze, and then it's infield again. Georgia playing some quick interplay, and then they have to go backwards to Guram Kasia, their captain, in centre half, up to Shengele on the left hand side, back down to Lokoshvili, infield now to Chakvetadze.
I'm just thinking, you know, that heavy touch from Lyndon Dykes there, you know, you're using him as the main striker. He's got to hold it in, isn't he? Because, you know, Scotland have lost the ball and they're not seeing it now for the last minute or so, and, you know, Georgia are pretty comfortable with their possession.
No Shea Adams, of course, in the squad, pulled out with an injury. Lawrence Shankland, he's got 5 and 5 for Hearts, in good form, is on the bench. He's been called in as a replacement. Scotland get a free kick for a foul on Ryan Christie in the Georgia half. It was Kirkvalia, centre half, that's come in late, right at the back of Christie, hands on the back as well, shoves him over. Solomon Kirkvalia, 54 caps, plays in the Saudi Pro League. He's another one who was involved in that 2015 victory over Scotland. Do have some experience peppered throughout their team as well, some good young players. Georgia, and Scotland goes short, and it's coming with a cross on the left hand side, and it goes all the way over everyone, and the Georgia player Shengele actually ducks and leaves it to run out for a throw into Georgia on the far side.
It's got to be better, the delivery's got to be better. I think it's Greg Taylor, is it, that puts it in from the wide area, and you know, it's beyond everyone that it takes the pressure right off from a good position. You know, if you put that on top of the centre backs and ask your, you know, Dykes to go and attack it, then you can maybe get something out of it.
Again's cross with the left foot is deep into the 6-yard box, and it's headed away by Solomon Kirkvalia. better from Scotland as they won the ball high up on the right hand side, and McGinn swung it in with a left boot, forced Georgia to do some defending, and it's headed behind for a corner kick. And 34.5 minutes played. It's short again from Scotland. Corner to Patterson, out to Gilmore. His touch isn't the best, and then gives it back to Christie on the right hand side, then to Patterson, who's robbed by Kvaratskhelia. Breaks for Georgia. Kokorashvili then draws the foul, but those short corners haven't worked too well for Scotland so far.
I can't even see what they're trying, because there isn't a spare player, is there? It's not as if they're creating a situation with a spare player. And I think just throw the ball in the box and let the defenders come up. And you've got Porteous, who's great in the air,
yeah,
and you've got McKenna, who's great in the air, and you've got Dykes, who's great in the air. Just put the ball in the box.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, they've already had the McTominay opportunity and the Dykes header from set pieces, so the deliveries in have been more fruitful than the short corners so far. A couple of them. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Georgia leading Scotland by a goal to nil in Tbilisi. 35 minutes played in the penultimate game in this qualifying group. Scotland already with the job done, of course, so no damage will be done, but disappointing 35 minutes nonetheless, with Kvaratskhelia goal the difference, as Ryan Porteous tries to keep the ball in the Georgia half on the right hand side, but he doesn't manage to do so. And Georgia will have the throw in, and they will be absolutely delighted with their work in this first half so far. They've stood off Scotland, made it difficult, and then when they have had the ball, they've looked threatening. Zander Clark had to make a save from Shengelia, and then Dykes blocked one that was goal bound, ended up going round the post for a corner, and Georgia win another throw in up on halfway. And it's a talented front three they've got as well. Georgie Chakvetadze plays for Watford. Mikau Tadze, who scored 23 goals in Ligue 2 in France last season, then got a move to Ajax. He's not played too much in Ajax's campaign. Poor campaign so far, Ajax. Struggling in the Eredivisie, but he's not had too much game time. Still a good player. And then, of course, the jewel in the crown, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, who's got the goal. Georgia go back towards their own goal. Kashia, right-footed pass along the deck to Kvaratskhelia, has come from deep and he's jinked in field and he's won the foul, and the yellow card comes out for Ryan Christie, the second Scotland player to go into the book, and Kvaratskhelia is writhing on the ground in pain. He took that from deep and sped his way up pretty quickly, draws the foul.
Yeah, I think Ryan Christie knew exactly what he was doing there. He had no chance of winning that ball. He's got on the ground. I don't know if he's hurt his arm, is he?
I think so. I think he's maybe landed in it, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
There. It was good skill, and you know, Ryan Christie's taking him on, and Christie's diving in, you know, from behind the player as well, and he gets a yellow card. I think he's just you know, landed awkwardly in his arm, and he's probably making the most of it as well, I would suggest.
Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, he looks as if he's in a little bit of pain there.
Then he's clutching the arm. Well, that'll be a concern for Georgia, of course, but also Napoli. He's getting to his feet now. Kvaratskhelia, incidentally, with Patterson and Christie in the book. If Porteous, Henry or Dykes get booked, then we'll miss Sunday's final game against Norway through suspension. You only need 3 in the group to incur a ban. There are 1-2 bookings, as is Andy Robertson, but he won't play any part, of course. And we're just seeing some replays of Christie's challenge. He was a couple of millimetres away from getting the ball, but when you come in from behind anyway, you're always running the risk of the foul. And it's going to be a Georgia free kick, fairly central position, almost at the midway point of the Scotland half. Right-footed cross. It's very deep, and it's far too deep for anyone. And there's a faint appeal for a foul from Fiskiri.
It was a foul.
It's the other way.
It was a foul. Well, John McGinn had a hold of his jersey.
Well, that's what the Luka Lokoshvili, the centre back, that's what he was appealing for. And it's a throw into Scotland, right down near their own corner flag on the right hand side. Nathan Patterson throws it up the touchline, headed up into the air, and out for another throw in. Scotland's with 6 minutes plus whatever's added before the break to try and get themselves level. Just the one defeat, of course, in qualifying so far, away to Spain. At the moment, as it stands, heading for another. Not that it matters greatly. Billy Gilmore receives the ball, right-footed pass back to McKenna. Fizzes the left foot. Ball up to Christie, who controls it well, gives it to McGregor, then it's on to Taylor, then Gilmore, who's found some space to dart through in the middle. The pitch is up, moving towards the edge of the box, but just overruns it. And now this is what Georgia want. They want the turnover, the transitions. They look to counter, but then it's towards Kvaratskhelia, who loses out to Greg Taylor, and he's actually been penalised. And Scotland will have the free kick just on halfway. They try to get on with it. It's played into Christie in the middle of the pitch, then round the corner for Patterson out towards the right hand side. He's 10 yards in from the touchline, gives it to McGinn, gives it back to Patterson right hand side of the box. He's turned it onto the left foot, chips into the 6-yard area. The goalkeeper's flapped at it. Fortunately for Georgia, the defender gets there and hooks it away. The goalkeeper has looked dodgy so far. 2 clearances miles out the pitch, and he totally flapped at that one.
He did. There was in defence of the goalkeeper, the centre back was in front of him as well. I think maybe put him off, but I think we've got to do more of that. It says early in the game that the 2 full-backs are key, and passing on the poor cross into the box, but his first one into the box was one that caused a bit of concern in the Georgian defence. I think he's just got to do more of it down that side.
He's not done enough of the ball higher up the field, Willie. That's been the problem. Not been able to get the ball from the other side of the field out to Patterson with space to run. And I think that's, if we can play the passes a little bit slicker and change the area of the pitch that we're attacking in really quickly, I think then we'll allow our full-backs to get involved in the game.
Given away by Georgia in their own half to Billy Gilmore, but he's facing his own goal, twists away from one red shirt, but gives it back to Porteous. Then it's along to Patterson, infield to McTominay, who's been fairly quiet in this opening 41 minutes. Just the one chance from a corner, which he took on the bounce, and it went well over the crossbar. And it's into Christie, who fizzes it along the deck down the left-hand side, looking for Callum McGregor, I think, but it's run out for the goal kick harmlessly to Georgia, who lead by a 1-0.
They're just getting a replay of the Patterson cross. I think it was a really dangerous cross. And the goalkeeper was caught by surprise because it's gone over the centre-back's head, and I think he was expecting the centre-back to head it clear.
Georgia 1, Scotland 0. So 3 minutes till the break, plus whatever is added. Stoppage time. Been a couple of delays as Dykes chases down Kasia, gives it to Lokashvili. Back to the defender. Dykes is there, but he's not joined by many teammates in pressing. And Shengelia plays it up the touchline for Georgia. Scotland challenge goes in, and it's bounced all the way down the pitch and spins out for a throw-in to Scotland in their own half. But Georgia's game plan has worked to a T so far. They've got men behind the ball and then sprung quickly when they've needed to. And crucially, they have the goal, which has them in front as they look for their 3rd win of this qualifying campaign. Won 13 of their last 20 matches, so they're a team that maybe haven't picked up as many points as they would have liked in this group, of course, but they are a dangerous team, especially in Tbilisi. Scotland throw down the touchline for McTominay, holds off the defender, gives it to Patterson, whose touch is heavy. He's just going to keep it in on the touchline, then he gets the cross into the back post. Christie goes up, gets something on it. The goalkeeper, Mamardashvili, jumps at the edge of the 6-yard box and collects, and that's the most convincing he's looked all evening.
It was an easy take, but again it's Patterson down the right hand side, does really well, finds a little bit of space, and again it's a dangerous cross. Maybe you're looking for Lyndon Dykes, maybe to peel towards the back post in that occasion. It's Ryan Christie, and he doesn't really get enough power on it. It just kind of pops up in there, and an easy take for the goalkeeper.
At least we're seeing Patterson higher up the field now.
Yeah, he's got forward a number of times, Nathan Patterson. He's played 14 times for Everton this season, just the 5 starts, but he's certainly been a part of Everton's recent revival under Sean Dyche. You'll hope for even more game time as the season progresses. Had some injury troubles as well, of course. Here he is, thinks the left-footed pass from McTominay, who heads it to the feet of McGinn on the right-hand touchline. He's got company, but he twists away from his marker, gives it infield to Gilmore, who turns and then gives it away. His pass was under hit to Callum McGregor, who then gives away the free kick. And Scotland frustrations begin to mount into Tbilisi. Uncharacteristically, if I can get that word out, sloppy from Billy Gilmore.
That'll do. It is, you know, at times we have shown sloppiness, and you know, when we're in possession, and you know that should have been quite an easy pass for Billy Gilmore there into Callum McGregor, because he wasn't under too much pressure, and just at times we've let ourselves down with inaccurate passing.
Georgia with the ball at the back, Kashia right hand side, Kakabadze, and it's blocked and out for a throw-in. Nearly played the 45 minutes in Tbilisi. Scotland and Steve Clarke with plenty to think about. And what's his 50th match in charge of Scotland? And unless they can revive themselves in the second half, which you back them to do, you have to say, and they're heading for a 4th straight defeat for the first time since October 2019. There's still a long way to go. 3 minutes added here for Scotland at the end of this first half, trailing by a 0-0 in Georgia. Patterson with it in his own half, under a bit of pressure from Mikautadze. Gives it to McTominay, who's dropped deep, onto Taylor, who's crossed halfway. Takes a touch with the outside of the left boot, gives it on to Callum McGregor. Infield to McTominay in the centre circle, tries a right-footed pass along the ground to Nathan Patterson. You see more and more of the ball on this right-hand side. He's got it back from Gilmore Patterson, but he's forced back as Georgia just exerts some pressure off the ball. Back to Porteous, right-footed pass switch to Taylor, on to Ryan Christie, who's bobbing and weaving on the left-hand side but can't find a gap. Gives it back to McKenna. We've played 1 minute of the 3 added at the end of the first half. Scotland trailing Georgia by a 0-0. Patterson gives it to Porteous and then just has a little shake of the head. Nathan Patterson, some frustration that he's not managing to find the gaps, but he's been one of the few who has in this first half. Porteous looks for Dykes, loses out though. Lyndon Dykes goes all the way back towards the halfway line for Porteous, and McGilmore pass to the halfway line for McKenna, left hand side to Taylor. Taylor dribbles forwards, left foot onto Christie. Again, he's coming towards the corner of the box, gives it to Gilmore, right footed pass to Patterson, right in corner of the box, tries a little pass in with the right foot, and it's cleared by Georgia. Nathan Patterson trying to put the pressure on. Scotland still coming forward through Gilmore, onto McKenna, and back to Porteous, onto Taylor. Sorry, Gilmore, and then back to McKenna. Scotland forced back. Georgia so effective. We're into the final minute of the 45. Here's McGinn trying to hold off the midfielder. He's done it effectively, giving it to McTominay, who's on the edge of the box. Tries the 1-2, but it doesn't break back for him. Georgia hack it clear to Mikautadze, and here they're going to try and break. But Scotland shut it down through Porteous, but that's lovely from Chakvetadze. Gets the nutmeg in, and then the switch of play out to Kakabadze, who can't collect it on the far side, and it'll run out and break down. But Georgia certainly enjoying themselves in the first half. Chakvetadze with a cheeky nutmeg.
I'm sure that'll be the topic of conversation in the dressing room, no matter what the result is. That little nutmeg in John McGinn, I'm sure that he won't be looking back in that one with an awful lot of pride.
No, and it sort of sums up Scotland's first half, and there is the half-time whistle in Tbilisi, and Scotland are trailing by a 0-0. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia strike in this first half is a difference for Scotland, who've been a bit laboured, a bit short of ideas. They've not had too many chances. Kvaratskhelia broke the deadlock. Kakabadze's neat first-time cross was met by the Napoli forwards at the near post, and he hooked it beyond Zander Clark. It was a really well-worked move, and that's the difference between the sides in Tbilisi at the break. Scotland have had a couple of chances. McTominay lashed over. The best of them was to Dykes from a free kick. He had a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box, glanced it away. And Georgia have actually had another couple of chances as well. Dykes blocked one, Clark denied Shengelia as well. So plenty to ponder for Steve Clarke at half-time on his 50th game in charge. At the break in Tbilisi, it's Georgia 1, Scotland 0.
Scotland in the Euro 2024 qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
This show is a Children in Need special in front of a live audience.
Join Brian Burnett to find out who will top the charts on the Get It On pop quiz.
The music video for which Lewis Capaldi track featured Jackie.
Peter Capaldi!
You knew this, well done.
Captains Jackie Bird, Martin Geisler and their teams battle it out to reach number one.
The item that connects Prince, Paul Young and Tom Jones.
It's an item of clothing I'm increasingly favouring these days.
All along I was thinking thongs.
The Get It On pop quiz for BBC Children in Need. Tomorrow morning from 11:30 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
So half-time in a disappointing encounter in Tbilisi. Georgia 1, Scotland 0. In the other game in the group, Spain have done exactly what Scotland did in Larnaca a few months ago. 3-0 up within half an hour. You mean Lamine Yamal, Mikel Oyarzabal and Joselu were the goals. Spain 3-0 up and coasting against Cyprus. Elsewhere in Group F, Estonia 0, Austria 2 and Azerbaijan 2, Sweden 0. Swedes having a terrible qualifying campaign. In Group G, it's Bulgaria 1, Hungary 1 and incidentally in a friendly, Norway 2-0 up at half-time against the Faroe Islands. Larsson and Bob were the goals so far in that one. No laughing matter though in Tbilisi after all the positivity beforehand. Tom English, this has been a pretty turgid 45 minutes for the Scots, hasn't it?
Yeah, flat, ponderous, unthreatening for the most part. They're better than this. I know they're missing a lot of players, but they're better than this. The tempo is slow, giving the ball away too often. Just not the type of performance that we'd expect from Scotland in a competitive game. Very untypical of them, and I think they need to snap out of it pretty quickly.
Well, you mentioned missing a lot of players, but I mean, we ran through them beforehand. We talked about the strength and depth.
Yep.
We talked about the squad. We talked about the fact that this looked like a team that was capable of getting a decent result.
Should be. I mean, it was a terrific goal from Georgia, but you can spot a couple of, not mistakes, but just kind of the speed of thought wasn't there from Scotland at the back when the ball goes out wide. First time cross is a brilliant first time cross, but Scotland's reaction to it is just that bit too slow. And that's a kind of that's the game, that first half in microcosm. Georgia have looked just that little bit sharper, and it's like, you know, losing their last three games, no disgrace. There's a gulf in class in those three games. There shouldn't be a gulf in class tonight, and there isn't. But Georgia are better. They look better than Scotland tonight. I think this is a better team. Scotland is a better team than Georgia, but yeah. Georgia, they're kind of turning that on its head. And really, that's largely because I think Scotland have just been off it. You know, aggression-wise, there's not a lot of aggression in the game either from Scotland. Yeah. There's so many. They've just dropped 10% at least on their best performances in this group.
I mean, I guess you have to wonder if partly it is the fact that no matter how much we build it up, how much Steve Clarke talks about keeping the momentum going, about finishing strongly, about the potential of getting a seeding, you know, a higher seeding place and the draw for the finals, but certainly beyond that. You can talk about that all you like, but the players out there know that the job is done. You wonder if subconsciously that allows them just to slip a little?
Well, I think if you're right, then Scotland have a problem. Because then that cuts to a kind of lack of professional pride and edge. I'd be really disappointed if that was the case, because Steve Clarke has been every utterance this week has been to avoid that, to cut that off at the pass, and it's. That's the kind of complacency that I talked about. If that is the case, that's complacency, and Scotland have no right to be complacent against anybody. You know, they've done a great job to get to the Euros, but the job isn't done. Like, the job is not done by Scotland getting to the Euros. That's not the end of the job. The end of the job is to do well in the Euros now. There's a new job, and that job should start tonight. But they're making a poor job of it so far.
Yeah, we talked beforehand, didn't we, about the squad. It'll be some 6 months or so before the squad is announced. A little bit more, in fact, or thereabouts for the finals next year. And we talked about all the competition for places and the fact that there are a number of players who are kind of on the periphery, if you like, or on the cut line potentially. Yes, you want to play yourself in that squad, but the problem is that if you put in a performance like this, it's going to give the manager second thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, most of those guys are fine, but there are a few potentially out there who he might be looking at.
Are there?
Well, McKenna, potentially.
Oh, well,
I assume Greg Taylor would go.
I don't think Taylor will go. I don't think McKenna will go. I've picked my squad, like I was talking about doing beforehand.
Who are the shock or the surprise absentees then?
There aren't any, unless you call McKenna and Taylor.
So you're taking neither of those to Germany?
No.
Okay.
Eight defenders. He has 8 defenders in this squad. It's a squad of 23, so I picked 8. Porteous, Hendry, Hanley, Cooper, Tierney, Robertson, Hickey, Patterson.
Yeah, so this is all down to all the players being fit. And I suppose Hickey, you can play right back or left back or left wing back, right wing back. I'd be surprised if Greg Taylor doesn't go, I must admit. But I haven't seen. Well, I haven't seen the rest of your selection there, and short of having it in front of me, I know he likes Greg Taylor, and I think the feeling would be that Greg Taylor, from his point of view, hasn't let him down, and is there as a backup. He knows he's a backup to Andy Robertson, for instance. But
you have Tierney on that side. You have
Robertson
defender on that side. Are you going to pick another one? And who are you going to drop? I suppose you could leave out one of the centre halves, maybe.
Well, Tierney obviously is, when fit, and there he's a central defender these days in Steve Clarke's eyes, isn't he? In a 5.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so you'd be losing Cooper then, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Hanley or a Patterson on the other side.
I think what makes it clear is that we're talking about that because the first 45 minutes have been terrible.
But the point is, like, we talk about the strength and depth, but the potential bolters to get into the squad for Germany, I think they've got too much to do. We're talking about Doig, or you're talking about Doak, the real bolters, right? I think the squad is remarkably easy to pick if everybody's fit, and given Clarke's propensity for consistency. So I think there's the third goalkeeper, Kelly or Gordon. Does Gordon come into this? Does he have time?
I think he would be given time, wouldn't he? If he gets back in the Hearts lineup and he's playing every week in, week out, and playing to the level that we know Craig Gordon can play at and has done for many, many years, he will be in the squad.
So I think that's one spot, and I think the other spot is the fourth striker. I mean, he always picks Christie as a forward, right? So Christie, Dykes, Adams, and then it's Brown or Shankland. Or am I missing somebody here?
Well,
I don't think so.
Not someone who's scoring on a regular basis.
So it's amazing when you write them all down. There are actually remarkably few decisions to be made, in my view, if they're all fit. Unless Ashley Barnes, but is he going to pick an Ashley Barnes out of the sky? I don't think so.
Harvey Barnes.
Or Harvey Barnes. Ashley Barnes. Who's Ashley Barnes?
I think there was an Ashley Barnes. Wasn't that an Ashley Barnes? Yeah.
Harvey Barnes.
Apparently he played for Burnley and Austria.
All right.
I've been told.
There's a number of others like Harvey Barnes. I don't think Clarke is going to go with any of those guys because he's a creature of habit. He will stay true to the people who got him here largely, and I think there's maybe 2, maybe 3 spots that you'd put a question mark against. I think everyone else is pretty self-explanatory.
A reminder that the highlights will be on Sports Scene tonight, 10 o'clock on BBC Scotland. It's fair to say that our television colleagues will be hoping for many more highlights in the second half because right now they'll certainly be showing a few Georgian opportunities, but not very much in the way of Scotland. A McTominay shot over, a Gilmore free kick, which Dykes had a free header from and headed well wide. So that's been it for Scotland. They trailed 1-0 at half-time. And the highlights on Sports Scene, 10 o'clock tonight, BBC Scotland. And stay tuned to BBC Radio Scotland from 7:30. It'll be Stuart and Ray coming up with Off the Ball. Welcome to listeners who have been tuned in to Drive Time on FM. We do not bring you good news. Scotland are trailing 1-0 to Georgia. Live commentary to come. The players will be back out again in 4 or 5 minutes, I would guess. Willie Miller and Craig Levine are both with us. They've been doing the commentary alongside Thomas. It has not been, Craig, one of those highlights. We've enjoyed the campaign, all of us together right the way through. This has been a pretty tortuous 45 minutes, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure the Georgians will be happy with what they've done in the first half.
I hope our Georgian listeners have been thoroughly enjoying the coverage.
I just think they've got the tactics right in this particular situation, you know. And what helps, of course, is having a lead to protect. So they've now got a goal in front, and their game plan is working. So there's no way they're going to do anything different. It's up to Scotland to try and break down what I think is a very strong and tight defence, and the evidence of that is the first half. We haven't managed to create an awful lot. I think we will get joy in wide areas, but what we need to do when the ball comes out to like Patterson, he needs McGinn to make a run from in to out so that he can play the ball down the side and pull the centre back out of the middle. And we need to do more of that. And Christie needs to do another side for Taylor. And then once Taylor's played it, or once Patterson's played it, they can go again and maybe a cut back from either Christie or McGinn. But there needs to be more action down the sides for me, because we're getting nothing trying to go through the middle.
No, and it's an unusual situation, Richard, for Scotland. Having the respect given by Georgia, and Georgia just basically, defending against us, and Georgia hitting us in the transition or in the break, however you want to describe it. And we looked a little bit open and uncertain, I think, when we do lose possession, and they go very quickly to the other end of the park. But I said earlier in the commentary that the two fullbacks for me are key, because of how Georgia are playing. I think these two, Patterson and Taylor, have got to get on the ball. But you know what? Right from the very start, do you not think it was just too slow for us, the build-up? I don't think we're comfortable in that slow build-up. I think we've got to play it a bit quicker. We've got to keep the tempo a bit higher. And, we have got to make the passes a little bit slicker. And also, there's been unforced errors as well, and bad touches and heavy passes it's been a disappointing first 45, but it's an unusual situation for us to be in, when the opposition basically give up most of the field and then try to hit us in the break rather than the other way around.
The thing is, Willie, the bar's set quite high now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've been watching these games for a couple of years now, and the bar's set quite high, so any time that we dip below it, then it's quite noticeable. Yeah,
and we have, and it looks as though Ferguson and Kenny McLean are going to come on as well. So obviously Steve Clark not happy with that first half performance either.
Well, we'll see. We'll confirm who the departures are, but a bit of energy from Lewis Ferguson. Kenny McLean, of course, experienced campaigner now as well, both getting ready to appear for the second half. Scotland trailing 1-0 after a really disappointing first half showing. It is full live commentary here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. The penultimate qualifier from Tbilisi, Georgia against Scotland. It's commentary from Craig Levine, Willie Miller and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. We'll see if Scotland can get their first ever win on the third attempt in Georgia, or even score a goal. Shota Arveladze in 2007, the only player to score an away goal in this fixture. In the 5 meetings, the home side is dominated as Lewis Ferguson trots onto the pitch. In Tbilisi, he's replaced Ryan Christie. What a season he's having for Bologna. 3 goals. Kenny McLean on for Billy Gilmore. So Gilmore and Christie, the players to make way. Lewis Ferguson now on 10 Serie A goals in his season and a bit in Bologna. Equalled the record by a Scotsman of Dennis Law, one more to break it. He's in fantastic form. His manager Thiago Motta, the former Inter Milan, Barcelona, Brazil midfielder, been singing his praises all season. Lost just their second Serie A game at the weekend, so it'll be really interesting to see if he can make an impact in this second half, along of course with Kenny McLean, who scored that brilliant winner in Oslo Georgia get things underway, leading by a goal to nil. And Scotland just need more energy, urgency, everything really in this second half performance. And immediately Taylor fizzes the pass into McTominay, gets it back, then tries to give it again round the corner to Ferguson. Georgia have it though. Kokorashvili back to his goalkeeper, who sends it long. Porteous sends it back with the head to the feet of Kokorashvili. Wait for the pass to Kvaratskhelia outside of the boot to the left hand side. Georgia patient in their passing as Kokorashvili just goes past Scott McTominay with ease. He's into the Scotland half. He gives it to Kvaratskhelia, who's peeled out to the left hand side. He's taking on Patterson. He's up to the edge of the box. He comes infield to the corner of the box, then gives the pass. Georgia switch it. They go to the right hand side. It was Kakabadze set up the opening goal. Infield now to Chakvetadze, gets it back with a 1-2, middle of the pitch, 30 yards out, assessing his options. Georgia full of confidence, full of energy, vigour. Scotland do force them back. It's gone all the way back to Kvaratskhelia, centre half. Scotland now pinned back into their shape. Switch of play by Georgia out to the left-hand touchline. The Scotland half infield. Kvaratskhelia is jinked away from the challenge. He's now running down the left-hand side. He's into the box and then gets the corner. And that's another glimpse of what Kvicha Kvaratskhelia can do. The challenge came in, and lightning, he just went straight past it and then wins his team a corner.
Yeah, Porteous got to show a little bit more composure in dealing with that threat.
And the corner's taken short and quickly by Georgia. It's infield, shot with the right foot, but it's blazed high and wide over the crossbar by Georgi Chakvetadze, the Watford striker. It was never troubling Xander Clark, that one, but again Scotland's pinned back in the early stages. Not the first couple of minutes Steve Clark would have wanted. See Lewis Ferguson, Kenny McLean had much chance to get a touch of the ball. Scotland now trying to build out from the back. Porteous under no pressure nudges it to Scott McKenna, and he checks back, gives it to Porteous. A pair of them playing for Scotland together in the back four for the first time, and they go long looking for McLean, but it breaks for Georgia to regather at the back. Kashia, the captain, clears it forward, brings back for Ferguson, who tries to pass to the touchline, but it's intercepted, and now Porteous is back trying to hold off Kvaratskhelia. He does, wins the throw, and he goes quickly back to his goalkeeper Xander Clark. Scotland will start things again through Greg Taylor.
It's still too slow though, Willie, isn't it? I mean,
agreed.
We need to touch the side of the pitch quicker than we're doing just now.
Taylor across halfway, little dummy, and again he's forced backwards. We've seen a lot of that. Scotland fullbacks advancing a few yards up the pitch and then having to turn back and give it to the centre halves. Here's Porteous, he takes it across the halfway line, still got it, gives it to Callum McGregor, left-footed pass in field to Taylor, first time past the edge of the box to Kenny McLean, then onto the edge of the box to McTominay, gets the strike away, and Scott McTominay brings Scotland level. He's done it again. Scotland's man of this campaign, with a crucial moment to bring his side level, and it's Georgia 1, Scotland 1.
He's just a goal machine, isn't he? Scott McTominay. I mean, that's incredible. And the passing was sharp, and you know, it was accurate as well. And Greg Taylor playing a big part in it as well. But then McTominay, it doesn't look as though there's any space for him to strike that one into the back of the net. Somehow he manages to hit it, you know, with the right foot, and it just goes in at that near post. Quite incredible start to this second half for Scotland.
It looked like the goalkeeper was unsighted, Willie. I mean, he was rooted to the spot, wasn't he? He didn't react at all when the ball came through the forest of legs and into the bottom corner from McTominay. But wow, what a player this guy's proven to be for Scotland. 7th
goal of the campaign, level with what John McGinn got for the 2020 qualifying campaign and Stephen Fletcher for Euro 2016. That's the record, one more and he'd break it. Still time in this game, and of course on Sunday against Norway, but Scotland needed that because, as the guys had mentioned, they hadn't exactly started the first couple of minutes of the second half with loads of energy and go forward, but Scott McTominay, he's so good at that finish, little backlift along the deck, into the bottom corner, similar to his second against Spain. Georgia have a corner here, into the near post, headed away though by Kenny McLean. Georgia have it, switch of play from the left, across the edge of the box. Kasia was in there, flag's gone up for offside. Oh, what a campaign Scott McTominay is having. That was an offside flag. Kasia penalised. Well, will that breathe some life into Scotland?
Well, I would hope so, and I would think so, yeah.
I think it does. It gives you a lift, doesn't it? I think it was a well-worked goal. You know, there was enough accurate passing, good tempo to the passing as well, and then, you know, that strike to goalkeeper not moving for it at all. And such an important player, Scott McTominay, now for the national team. You know, not just the quality he's got as a midfield player, but the goals is quite amazing. Quite amazing stats, the amount of goals that Scott McTominay is accumulating.
Incredible stuff. 7 in this campaign. As Dykes loses out on the near touchline there. He's found a scoring touch for Man United, as well as Scotland form bled into his club form a little bit. Goals against Brentford and Sheffield United. He's been Scotland's talisman. Here's Lewis Ferguson on the left hand side. He's found a little gap to pass through to Taylor. Now he's given it to Dykes, who was on the edge of the box, but it's just run in front of Lyndon Dykes. As he would, if he'd taken the touch and collected it, he'd have been bang on the edge of the box with sight of goal.
Yeah, but it's Greg Taylor again. You know, he's getting himself forward. There's plenty of space for him to do that.
There's a ball in behind now for Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, but it's too far in front of him, and Xander Clark was alert, came off his line and took it. Might have been offside anyway, but can't take any chances. Kvaratskhelia is involved. Scotland's back on level terms next to that Scott McTominay goal. And here he is in his own half. Pass to McGregor, it's back to Porteous. And that'll maybe just shake the Georgian confidence a little bit. Here's McGregor in the Georgia half, gives it to McTominay, who juggles the ball while holding off a red shirt as well. Fantastic play from McTominay out to the right hand side, and Patterson is on the touchline, gives it to McGinn, who gives it in the air first time round the corner to Ferguson, who's popped up on the right hand side this time, gives it back up the touchline to Patterson, who's given it infield to McLean, who's put it first time to Ferguson on the right hand side, tries to cut back to the edge of the box from McLean. The cross just into the 6-yard area might have been the better option. Now Georgia tried to break through. Mikau Tadze, he's tussling with Porteous, gets the throw in, but Porteous did his job defensively. Taking quickly though. There's Chakve Tadze onto Kvaratskhelia. He's in the middle of the pitch, jigs away from Kenny McLean, then a tackle comes in. Strong one from Callum McGregor, and then it's coming to the box. Danger for Scotland. McKenna makes a crucial challenge with Chakve Tadze lurking, and then Taylor gets on the touchline and clears it away. Dykes challenging. Oh, a bit frantic there.
Well, it's livened up a bit, hasn't it, since the goal? And, yeah, we've got a contest now.
Absolutely.
I think it will suit us as well. I think it will suit Scotland. You know, the fact that the tempo's a lot higher, and Georgia are looking to maybe be a little bit more open. They still obviously go back and try to make it really difficult for Scotland to build up, but it's looking a little bit open, more end to end.
Long towards Lewis Ferguson, who was playing as the striker there, but it's dealt with just about by Kasia. Then over to Kakabadze, the right hand side. He's under pressure immediately from Kenny McLean. He's trying to twist and turn away from him. McLean sticking at it, and he goes backwards to Solomon Kirkvelia. He goes long. McKenna gets the head on it, and Lokor Ashvili wins it and knocks it back to his captain, Kasia. Lokor-Ashvili out to the left hand side, and Georgia forced back now. Scotland trying to press them further up the pitch as they now look to get themselves in front. Switch of play though to the right hand side, and Kakabadze does well to keep it in. He's then moved it infield to Mikau Tadze, who's fouled by Kenny McLean, nearly in line with the right hand corner of the box. Dangerous area.
Rather silly as well. You know, Kenny McLean getting himself on the wrong side of the striker there, and giving away a free kick just outside the box. It's one that Scotland are going to have to be well organised to defend.
Yeah, he just got the wrong side there, Kenny McLean, and hands all over the back, and now the free kick is going to come in almost in line with the right-hand corner of the penalty area. It's going to be Shengelia who's going to swing this in. He tested Clark with an effort in the first half. He's going to fire it in with the left foot. And he might think about having a shot, but they're lined up certainly to cross this into the box. Referees now blowing the whistle. Shengelia delivers with the left foot. He does go for the strike, and Clark has to beat it away. Well, it was a decent enough effort. The goalkeeper does his job.
He was well positioned, wasn't he? He was covering both eventualities, and he was quick to react to the shot. It was a fairly comfortable save, but it was his positioning that made it so.
Yeah, wasn't struck with huge venom, just steered on target. But here is the corner now for Georgia, into the near post. Doesn't beat the first man, who is Greg Taylor, who heads it away. Georgia will come back though through Chakvetadze. He drives infield from the right-hand side. He's now in the middle of the pitch. Left-footed curling pass out to Kvaratskhelia on the left-hand side. He's one-on-one with Patterson. He's into the box. Kvaratskhelia comes in on the right foot, gets the shot away, finds the bottom corner. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff from Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Zander Clark utterly helpless to stop that one, creeping into his bottom corner. Patterson was done, all ends up in the box. And it's Georgia's superstar, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, who makes it Georgia 2, Scotland 1.
That's a great strike though, isn't it, from Kvaratskhelia. And he's pushed in onto his right foot now. I would suggest that you push
Parsons got to keep him on the outside.
Keep him on the outside. John McGinn's there, push him onto John McGinn as well. He goes by two of them with ease, and he strikes it low. And, you know, Zander Clark's got no chance whatsoever, no chance of getting anything on that. But it's brilliant play, it's wonderful strike. But if he's pushed down the line, McGinn is there, two of them are there.
It is, for me, well, in these situations, it's very clear. They know he's right-footed, so keep him on his left. And also, to score a goal by going down the line, he's got to provide a good cross and a good finish. So there's two actions that have to happen if he shows him on the outside. If he shows him inside, which he did, the goal opened up and he can just strike it into that bottom corner. He's got to keep him on the outside.
Two on the night for Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. He's a superstar in Georgia, but well beyond as well. Just one of the best forwards in European and world football right now. And he just left Nathan Patterson for dead, and his shot was on target. It was through a ruck of bodies. Zander Clark went down, could do nothing about it, and Scotland, having got themselves back level through Scott McTominay in the second half, trail once more to Georgia and Tbilisi. Here's Ryan Porteous. We've seen it so many times over the years with some national teams. Wales always spring to mind. When you've got one player as good as that, you just need them to produce a couple of moments and you can get your results. And as yellow card is flashed, the Georgian player, it's going to be a Scotland free kick in a decent area and a chance to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, I've been critical of Nathan Patterson, but at the same time, I mean, it's a wonderful goal as well. You know, I mean, he's got this brilliant drop of the shoulder, hasn't he, where he can just fool the defender and think he's going one way, and then he comes inside and he's just rifled the ball into the bottom corner.
There's a bizarre VAR screen grab there of showing whether he was onside. It was about 15 yards onside. Kvaratskhelia for that goal, but it's booking for Solomon Krukvelia for a late sliding tackle on Lewis Ferguson, and now John McGinn is about to deliver this free kick with the left foot. McLean gets the header on it, and then it almost falls for Ryan Porteous at the back post, but it was just beyond the Scotland defender, behind for a goal kick. It's Georgia 2, Scotland 1. We're nearly at the hour mark.
Yeah, you know, is it telling us that we're better defensively when we play with three central defenders rather than two central defenders? Or certainly, you know, you're being asked more as two central defenders. As John McGinn gets one off there, but it's easily taken by the goalkeeper, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of responsibility, I think, when it's the two central defenders, particularly when you've been used to playing.
Well, that's the thing for me, Willie. It's a change. You know, he's made a change. He's gone to a back four. They're used to playing a back three for most, well, the vast majority actually of a 3-5, would depend what you want to call it. But so there's always an extra defender there.
Yeah.
Scotland win it again high up. They did so a moment ago, as Willie said. John McGinn got a shot up, it was easily deflected high into the keeper's arms, and here's Greg Taylor coming forward. He loves to come in field and pick up almost his midfield positions, but here he is on the touchline, left-footed pass looking for McLean on the corner of the box. He's going to try and chase the deflected pass, and it's gone behind for a corner. Chuck Vetadze couldn't prevent the ball going behind.
I think we're lively enough in this half, though, to get back into the game. I think it's eminently possible.
I think the tempo is much better. You know, we're getting forward quicker. There's not so many negative passes.
Scott McTominay will take this corner with the right foot. It comes into the near post. Header saved! The goalkeeper saves it, Mamarashvili. Scotland are claiming that the ball went over the line. Or they're claiming for something anyway. Mamarashvili got two hands to it and flung it away from his goal.
It was a very good save, wasn't it? Not just 100% who get the header on it. Good delivery from the corner as well, and a really positive header and a wonderful save. It was going into the top corner.
Yeah, wonderful. We'll get to see it again.
It was indeed. It was a save he had to make. The header came in at the near post. The Scotland players were immediately appealing for something. Now here they come down the right hand side. It's played towards McTominay, but too far in front of him, and Cashel will come across and just collect and knock it back to Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper. Then Porteous chest the clearance into McGregor. That's given away. Kokorashvili, and now it's into Kvaratskhelia, who's running into the Scotland half. He's up towards the edge of the box. He's on the right hand corner of the box again. He comes in, but this time Porteous gets the challenge in, but he's given it away on the edge of the box. Chance for Georgia if they can get it away to Kvaratskhelia. They can't, and the challenge comes in. There's an appeal for something from Georgia on the edge of the box. Nikautadze went down. On we go. Here's Scott McTominay up towards the halfway line. Right-footed pass to John McGinn. Checks back. Gives it to Lewis Ferguson. On as a half-time substitute. Pass to Kenny McLean in the middle of the pitch. Gives it back to Ferguson. Out to Patterson on the right-hand touchline. Into Ferguson, into Kenny McLean, drops his shoulder, comes in on the left foot. He's going to get the strike at goal, but it's well wide of Mamardashvili's goal in the end.
Worth an attempt by Kenny McLean, though. He managed to shift the ball onto his favoured left foot. We're getting a chance to see this again.
It's Dykes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Dykes, and I don't think that's crossed the line at all, Willie.
No, it doesn't look like it from here, and I'm sure that they've checked it too. I thought it was a really good save, but good movement from Dykes as well. Excellent delivery to the near post, and he gets plenty on it this time. Good direction as well, but equalled by a very, very good save.
We've seen Scotland with 11 attempts to Georgia's 7, but I have to admit I'm struggling to recall the 11, but here we go down the right hand side with Dykes, and he's just beaten to it by Lokoshvili, the left centre half, but he'll win a throw in for Scotland, who are trailing Georgia by 2-1. Live on Sportsound, the BBC Radio Scotland. We've played just about 64 minutes. Kvaratskhelia opened the scoring in the first half. McTominay with his 7th. Yes, 7th goal of this Euro 2024 campaign. 4 minutes into the second half to get Scotland level, but Kvaratskhelia with a wonderful individual effort to restore Georgia's lead. That's how it stands as Patterson throws it to McGinn on the right-hand edge of the box. He's challenged, it goes back to Patterson, then to Callum McGregor, and then dink it in with a left-footed cross into the 6-yard box. Ferguson was in there, but Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper, collects, and he looks to have woken up from his earlier slumber where he made a few errors and stuck one out of play.
Yeah, it was too high, too near the goalkeeper as well from Callum McGregor. Quite an easy take there, looking for Lewis Ferguson drifting in at the back post, and Callum McGregor now playing a more familiar position as well, you know, taking over from Billy Gilmore and being that anchor midfield player.
Well, Georgia have stuck it out about 30 yards from their own goal, under a bit of pressure from Scotland. There is more urgency in this second half from Scotland. Did get themselves level, but despite going behind, they've still maintained a bit more tempo than they did in the first half, which was laboured and lethargic. Here's McTominay out towards the right touchline. It's back to Porteous now, though. Scotland with his 2 half-time subs as well. McLean and Ferguson on for Christie and Gilmore. And John McGinn is going to get a throw in on this far side. He leaves it for Patterson to take, throws it backwards down his touchline to Porteous, onto McKenna. We'll see if Scotland can fashion any more chances. Ferguson, we can see him, as mentioned, 3 goals in Serie A this season, including the winner against Lazio a couple of weeks ago. Got a goal against Juventus as well, an equaliser, so top opposition he's been performing against. Got himself in the box a few moments ago. It's into the feet of Dykes, who flicks up in the air for Ferguson. First time header, but there's no one centrally. But then McGinn puts a foot in, but it's a free kick against John McGinn for a high boot, and he gives the referee an earful as he clearly disagrees.
There was nothing wrong with that challenge, really, was there?
It's interpretation, isn't it? You know, you've been there before, you've seen this movie. Some referees in international competition deem that as a high boot, but there's nothing. You're right, there's nothing wrong with it. He gets the ball. It's just that his boot is high, and referees tend to give it at this level.
Now look at Lokoshvili, is subject to that. He's down now, stretching himself out. The Cremonese defender playing in Serie B. And Scotland's ready to try and get themselves back in this game. They don't want to suffer a 4th straight defeat. Of course, the job is done, getting to Germany, but they don't want to arrive there on the back of a poor end to the campaign, because it deserves a strong finish, given how fantastic they were over the opening 5 or 6 games. Still good in Seville. Might have been different, but for that Scott McTominay goal that never was. But the Georgia player looks to be back to his feet, and it looks like they're going to make a change as well. Their first of the evening, as they look for a 3rd win in this campaign. They beat Cyprus home and away 2-1, over in Cyprus 4-0 in Tbilisi. They pushed Norway, got a draw against Norway, then a narrow 2-1 defeat. So they've been competitive in this group, other than the 7-1 defeat by Spain at home. And they didn't much enjoy their visit to sodden Hampden. Here's Dykes in the centre circle, lays it off to McGinn, left-footed pass along the deck over towards the left-hand side of McLean, chipped it to the right-hand corner of the box. McLean for Dykes, first time headed to McTominay, who's the last, first time it's in towards Ferguson, who was running towards the edge of the 6 yards box, but he just couldn't reach the ball in time. Not sure if that was a cross or a shot for McTominay.
I think he attempted a shot. Yeah, he definitely attempted a shot, and he just caught the bottom of the ball and sort of spun it into the area, but
almost worked.
Ferguson nearly got there, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But again, it's Greg Taylor's second half. You know, he's been really influential, playing more like he plays for Celtic, isn't it? You know, more in the park rather than out the park, and definitely finding space. And some of his deliveries, crossfield passes, have been first class too. So, you know, obviously Steve Clarke has made that change, slight tactical change, seems to be working.
Georgia are going to make a couple of changes as well. Budu Zibzadze, the striker, there's one of those coming on. He's going to replace Georgia's Mikautadze, the Ajax forwards, who's put himself about. He's going to make way. Interesting, Greg Taylor played every single game for Celtic this season. Been a valuable part of their team for the last few seasons. He's done himself justice tonight. And Georgia, the other change in midfield, Kretviskiri is off, and Mek Vabishvili is going to come on. Dinamo Tbilisi midfielder, playing in his home stadium. And on we go with the ball at the feet of Guram Kashia on his 109th cap, the Georgia captain. Kokorashvili back to his goalkeeper. And Scotland need to find a response for a second time this evening. They trail to Vicha Kvaratskhelia brilliant individual goal in the second half. He got one in the first to give them the lead before McTominay got one back. It's Georgia 2, Scotland 1. And here's McTominay coming forward towards the edge of the box, gives it off to McGinn on the right hand side, looks for opportunity to cross on the right foot, then thinks better of it. He's forced out to the right hand touchline, gives it down the line to Patterson, who's going to get across him on the right foot, but it's straight to Kashia, who heads it away at the near post, and then it's chested down, and then poorly into touch actually by Georgia. Shengelia's taken a sore one as well, so he's going to be down. We have a
It was off the pitch, Thomas, and he's crawled back onto it. So that the referee has to bring the physio on.
He slipped and come down on his right ankle, but I'm sure Georgia will be all too happy to make this game bitty. Lots of stop-start and try and see out this final 20 minutes plus stoppage time, because this would be a big win for them. As I say, they can still qualify for the Euros via the Nations League playoffs. They won their League C section very confidently, beat North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Gibraltar as well, top that group. Here,
Georgia are a man down here, aren't they?
They are. Shengelia is off the pitch on the far side, so this is an opportunity for Scotland. Ferguson in the middle of the pitch, right-footed pass backwards into the centre circle for Porteous. Right-footed pass over again to the left-hand side. Kenny McLean, left-footed cross, it's low. Dykes takes a touch, he's facing away from goal, and he's penalised for handball. And the chance is gone for Scotland. Georgia 2, Scotland 1. 71 minutes played.
His touch hasn't been there tonight, Lyndon Dykes.
Not quite as good as he normally is.
Yeah, holding it up, and that was, you know, it was a decent ball in from Kenny McLean as well, but he hasn't controlled it. It definitely comes off his arm. And saying that, he said the two headers, one that was well saved, the other one he should have done better with, I felt.
He's not a player coursing with confidence at the moment in his club QPR, not doing well in the Championship. He's only scored 1 in 13 this season, and his last goal was against Swansea on the 19th of September, so he's only got 1 in 10 this campaign, as big as it was in Norway, so he's not found the goal scoring touch as much as he did in, say, the World Cup qualifying campaign, where he was, well, coming up with big goal after big goal for Scotland. So he, as you say, his touch has been a wee bit off, his radar not quite on tonight. Lyndon Dykes, Georgia come forwards through Chakvetadze, Kvaratskhelia on the left-hand side, short pass away, they'll go back down the left-hand touchline and try and start again. Through Kasia, right-footed pass, Kenny McLean tries to get the press on, through Solomon Kirkvelia, and it's long. Scotland get someone on it, but it only goes through to a Georgia player. He's Kokoroshvili, into Kakabadze. Taylor gets the challenge in and wins the throw-in. Scotland look for some urgency. They trail Georgia by 2-1 in their penultimate Group A Euro 2024 qualifier. Pass out to the right-hand side, and Patterson, who's been quieter in the second half, along to McKenna. Scotland at the moment heading for a 4th straight defeat for the first time since 2019, right at the start really of Steve Clarke's reign, when he had those games against Russia and Belgium. What a turnaround since. Here's Taylor, takes it to the box, McLean's in there again, but it's over him, and Georgia will just let that run. Out for a throw-in on the far side.
He's getting so much room down that left-hand side in the second half. Greg Taylor, isn't he? I don't know, I thought he could have maybe taken that one on for a strike, because he's more in the middle, and to try to play that little dink cross towards the back post, really difficult. A little bit more confidence, maybe have the strike from what, a good 25 yards or so, off a try perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. Georgia throw in line with their own 18. It's going to be launched up the touchline, he suspects, by Irakli Azarov. It's played down the line to Kvaratskhelia, but it was out, and he rues that pass. He is the difference between these teams. Brilliant second goal. That's an under-hit pass for McKenna, who just got away and then broke for Ryan Porteous rather kindly. He's taken it over the halfway line. He's putting his arms out, asking for an option. He's switched it to Taylor, who is again free in a fairly central position. Gives it to McLean on the left-hand side. Comes in from the touchline towards the corner of the box. He's in towards the D now. Then gives it off to Patterson, who's infield. Tries the right for the cross, it's blocked. Tries to help it back. Kvaratskhelia has intercepted it. He's been everywhere for Georgia tonight, and he tries to go around the outside of Patterson, and he's fouled him in the process. Patterson wants to get on with it, nudges it to Kenny McLean, but referee calls it back.
It's not beyond Scotland to get back into this game. I mean, we've seen time and time again late goals from Scotland, so You know, I'm confident with what we've got left on the clock. 10-15 minutes, something like that. Yeah, there'll be another chance for sure.
Yeah, 15 plus whatever's added to play. McGregor tries to squeeze through McLean. It's broken kindly. Ferguson, who then is tripped, he gets a free kick about 20 yards out, 23 yards out maybe, right hand corner of the box, and Scotland will fancy whipping this one in because they have had some joy, Willie, from set pieces.
Yeah, but we'll take that because I think Lewis Ferguson was running into red jerseys there. I don't think there was an out ball for him, but he's got that free kick, some 25 yards out, right hand side of the goal as well. So an opportunity for someone to go for glory.
Tominy's got the ball, so
of course he does.
Looks like he's the guy who's going to attempt this.
It is a bit of a strange angle for the right footer, I suppose, towards the right hand side in favour of the curled left foot, but we'll see. But Georgia have a player down injured, so it'll be a few minutes before we maybe even get this free kick taken, or going to make a substitution. It's Lokoshvili, the left centre back, who's down. He was stretching himself earlier, so
I think though that this is more about seeing the game out than it is about anybody being injured.
Yeah,
I think you have to expect that though, don't you?
Obviously, yeah.
You know, I think a victory for Georgia would be a wonderful result for them, and obviously still get a chance of qualifying for the Euros through the Nations League, and it just keeps their momentum going, it keeps their confidence high, particularly in Tbilisi.
McTominay is over this free kick. He's exchanging a few words with someone, unhappy about something. There's a few of them over it. McGinn's there as well. I think McTominay's furious that they're taking so long to. Well, I thought that was the player still down injured, but it's the draft. It's the old draft excluder behind the wall. The old man lying down behind the wall to block the low effort. So the injured player is going off behind the goal. So Lokoshvili, and there is a change with Alexander Kalanadze, another Dinamo Tbilisi player, has replaced him in the centre half. So Kalanadze is on, and it's actually going to be a foreign player who's going to go off. Georgi Chakvetadze is making way, the Watford player. His work is done for tonight. Alexander Kalanadze, the centre half, is on. Lokoshvili looks like he may have recovered. No, there's Davitashvili, the forward player, coming on as well. So that is the changes for Georgia. Bordeaux striker Sudiko Davitashvili also on. Stuart Armstrong is on for Scotland.
Taylor's off.
Taylor goes off. Anthony Ralston is on as well for Nathan Patterson. Take a breath after all that. Bench is emptied. We might yet get this free kick from Scott McTominay. The only one standing over it. Takes a little step to the side.
This has taken nearly 3.5 minutes, you know that? Get this free kick organised.
Yeah. It's plenty of time for McTominay to think about it. He goes with the right foot and he's blazed it well over. It went up, it came down, but nowhere near in time to threaten Mamardashvili in the Georgia goal. Georgia 2, Scotland 1.
But you're right, it's not on really for the right footer there, is it? It's really tight. You've got to go around the outside of the wall perhaps, or a bit of both, round and over. I mean, it's not a great execution. He puts it way over the bar as well. He's got to keep it much lower than that and be much more accurate.
Yeah. John McGinn, Kenny McLean fancied that one with a left peg. On we go. Scotland trailing by 2-1 in Tbilisi. Got 79.5 minutes on the clock. Scotland free kick in the centre circle. Still yet time. It's a foul on Lyndon Dykes, I think. Nudge to the deck. Scotland goes short. Here's McKenna. Left footed pass to Callum McGregor. He's closed down by the front men, Davitashvili and Kvaratskhelia. McGregor gets it again. Here's Porteous. Scotland just patiently probing for the space, the moment to strike. McLean down the left, gives it to Armstrong. Armstrong back to McKenna. And Georgia again just getting themselves back into a good disciplined shape. Pass forward to McTominay out to the right hand side. And Anthony Ralston, whose birthday it is today, 25. On for another Scotland cap, and there's Armstrong, and he's put it out the park as he looked for Kenny McLean. There's a miscommunication, the two of them speak to one another, but that's sloppy. Scotland's waste that passage of play as they go in search of an equaliser. Steve Clark prowling the touchline. He won't be happy. I know that 3 defeats were to England, Spain and France, and 2 of those were friendlies, but he still won't be happy if they go and make it 4 defeats in a row.
No, of course not, and I mean, this team have set the bar high, and the expectation levels for everybody, the coaches, staff, the players themselves, the supporters, we expect better than this performance.
But that's where you go, isn't it? You know, when you've had such a good campaign, you don't want to let it drop. Okay, you've tested yourself against some of the best in Europe.
Cross comes into the Scotland box, it's headed away to the back post. Kabadze with a cross. And then Scotland get the free kick in their own half, and the yellow card is flashed for Kokorashvili on McTominay, and then McTominay's had a little go back, and Kokorashvili's thrown himself to the deck, and now there's a bit of argy-bargy around the referee. Ferguson's in there, Kvaratskhelia is in there, and then Ferguson has a little dig at him, and it's all kicking off. Frustration. McTominay did have a nibble at Kokorashvili, but he went down as if he'd been smacked in the chops. We'll get to see a replay. It's a naughty challenge, you have to say.
I think McTominay put his hand in his face at some point.
The challenge on McTominay, though, is ridiculous. It's a yellow card going on, a red card, to be perfectly honest.
He just pushed him in the chest, his fingers hit his chin. And he's thrown himself to the floor and he's writhing about.
Yeah, the challenge on him was not a good one, and then Kokorashvili was trying to tell him to get up, I think, and then he's had a little nibble back. But
it's like he's went into his knee, he's tried to.
It was high, yeah.
Definitely, and he's nowhere near the ball. So, I think Scott McTominay's got every right to be a little bit angry with that situation.
Well, the home crowd don't like it. They certainly like this result as it stands. We just hit 83 minutes. And Georgia are leading Scotland by 2-1. Kenny McLean dribbles down the left-hand touchline. His passing field is blocked, and it's thrown quickly. But then Georgia clear it out, and it'll be a Scotland throw. A chance to throw it in the box if they want to, as they go in search of an equaliser, as they try and avoid a second defeat of this campaign. Cross in and headed over by McTominay. And the referee's whistle appeared to go there, but it's a decent chance for McTominay.
It's a thing we've not done a lot of tonight, Will, is it? Throwing crosses into the box. Not enough, anyway.
Well, that was a decent one as well. The delivery was pretty decent.
It was good, yeah.
McTominay, he was under pressure. It was a difficult one to get, on target. But yeah, dangerous cross into an area that, McTominay was very keen to take advantage of.
Georgia 2, Scotland 1. Live on Sports Sound of BBC Radio Scotland, the penultimate game. Scotland's Euro 2024 campaign, successful campaign. This is a little blot against the team, unless they can find something in the final 6 minutes plus added time we have left to play in Tbilisi. Here's Porteous up to the halfway line, lays it off for Ralston, gives it infield to McKenna, along to McLean on the left hand side, up to Ferguson, giving it back to McLean. Armstrong's dropped in, but McLean says he's marked and moves it to McGregor, back to McKenna. Georgia very disciplined, shifting themselves side to side. It's got to come up the right hand side, and McGinn holds off one. He's into the box, cross comes in, it's sliding tackle from Georgia, forces it away. It's come back towards Dykes, who's trying to control it in the D on the edge of the area. He gives it to McGregor, across to McLean, and then that pass just doesn't quite go to plan, but McKenna picks up, and then he's caught and gets a free kick. Scotland will the chance from deep to put the ball into the box. And they trail by 2-1. It's just a late one on McKenna.
Yeah. You know, it is a free kick, and there is a lot of urgency in the Scotland play now, trying to do everything quick, maybe at times too quick. You know, I think that you've still got to show composure as Lawrence Shanklin comes on for Dykes. I think Dykes goes off. So you know, Steve Clark still desperate to find that goal scoring touch and get something out of the game.
Here's Armstrong down the left-hand touchline. Shanklin goes on. He's got 5 in his last 5 for Hearts. Can he make the difference? McLean tries the 1-2 to get himself into the box, but it's cut out on the return. Sent back down the pitch by Georgia to McKenna. Here's Porteous. He's looking for an option in front of him. He's driving forward down the right-hand side. Lays it off for Ralston. First-time pass back. Left-footed cross comes in. It's a switch of play, in fact, for Armstrong. Controls it on the chest. He's not got space yet to cross. He's coming infield. He's dribbling towards the centre of the box, back to McLean. Cross in from the left. Header on it. Georgia just about get it away through Kverkvelia. Then Scotland send it back with a head through McKenna. It's bouncing about in midfield. Kvaratskhelia gives it. Then Armstrong wins back the ball for Scotland. In the middle of the pitch. It's back with McKenna.
We needed this urgency earlier, Willie, didn't we?
Yeah, it is very urgent now, isn't it? Time ticking away there.
And well, there's a late challenge comes in on John McGinn as he tried to. There's actually Anthony Ralston over on the far side as he tried to go round his man. He had beaten him, Davitashvili, and he's clattered him with a sliding challenge.
Thomas, it's another bad challenge, isn't it?
He's left the ground, Willie, isn't he?
Yeah. It really is very dangerous. I would hope there was a yellow card there. I'm not sure if the referee actually got one out. It deserved one.
It was certainly late. He did get himself in the air. Davitashvili, the substitute. Scotland free kick, just a few yards in from the right-hand touchline. It's going to come in. It doesn't beat the first man in the box, and it's headed away. The home fans go wild. They can sense a third victory in this group, move on to 10 points, level with Norway. And then here's Porteous, cross from the left-hand side again. It's cut out. Scotland trying to crank up the pressure as we move towards the 88th minute in Tbilisi. Georgia 2, Scotland 1. Kvaratskhelia with 2, McTominay with a 1. Levelling fairly briefly for Scotland in the second half. Here's McGregor, middle of the pitch. Gives it to the left now in Kenny McLean. Right-footed pass down the touchline to Armstrong. Left-footed across the back post. Headed away again by Georgia for Porteous. Here's Ralston. Then the cross in from again. Ferguson's in there, gets the head on it, but it's straight down the throat of Georgi Mamardashvili. Oh, what a chance for Lewis Ferguson.
You know, he's got too much on it, Willie. I think if he gets that, if that comes off the side of his head, down into the corner. But I mean, it's a great ball in. He's done well to actually reach it. And it's a comfortable save for the goalkeeper.
It is. I think he's gone back the way as well, Lewis Ferguson too. It's always more difficult to get
power,
height and power, isn't it? You know, John McGinn throws it towards the back post. It's an intelligent run from Lewis Ferguson, but just, you know, he just couldn't get enough on it to, you know, really make the goalkeeper worry about it. It was an easy take at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was harder on the replay when you look at it than it looked at first for Lewis Ferguson. He was moving backwards. He got a good connection on it, but it was a comfortable height for the goalkeeper. He certainly got himself in there, but free kick to Georgia in the Scotland half. They go short. Here's Kokorashvili, and he squeezed that through a gap to Kabadze on the right-hand touchline wonderfully. Then onto Kvaratskhelia, who's tackled by Kenny McLean. Then onto Ferguson. Now Scotland look to counter. As they break forward, it's spread over to McGinn. He's moving towards the right-hand corner of the box. He doesn't have too much support. He's going to try and come in on the left foot, goes down the touchline with the right foot, and then he's fizzed it across the 6-yard box, but it doesn't fall for McTominay, who was in there inches away, and then there's a late one on Lewis Ferguson. Kvaratskhelia is clattered into Ferguson and goes in the book, and he's protested, but that looked a really sore one.
That's 3 challenges, very similar, where the Georgian players have left the ground and they're out of control.
Yeah, you know, they look as though they've lost the composure. You know, it's a late one. You know, he's nowhere near the ball, and Lewis Ferguson is in control of it, and it maybe looks more spectacular than the damage that was done. to Lewis Ferguson, but it's a lunging tackle.
7 minutes of added time have gone up on the board, so 7 minutes for Scotland to find an equaliser, or perhaps more. And there is McTominay delivers a free kick to the back post. Again, Georgia get ahead on it. You saw Austin McPhee was out on the touchline. The set-piece specialist for Scotland, trying to urge his players into certain positions, I'm sure, but Georgia comfortably defending those for that free kick. And here's a chance for Georgia to relieve some pressure. They've seen almost the first minute of 7. They've got to hold on, come and go. They lead Scotland by 2-1 as Steve Clarke strolls to his dugout and sits down. I was going to say looking rather exasperated, but he often looks like that even when they're winning, so it's hard to tell, but he'll be disappointed, I'm sure, despite the main job of qualifying obviously already being done. Goes up towards McTominay. Scotland hit it at the back. McGinn collects, he's just over the halfway line, he's dribbling away from 3 red shirts, and then he's brought down. Free kick for Scotland in the centre circle. There is far more urgency now, as you would expect, chasing the game. This was certainly lacking in the first 45 minutes from Scotland. Here's McGregor, looks for the pass, gives it short to McKenna, then to Kenny McLean, who seems to be playing left back at the moment.
Yeah, he's went in there as Greg Taylor came off, but it's not really left back, is it? It's left midfield, because Scotland are in control of the game and control of the ball.
Here's McTominay coming in from the right, and he's found his path blocked, but he's got it back. Gives it to Armstrong on the edge of the box. He's going to lift one to the back post. Scotland have numbers there. Header on. What a pass into the back of the net. Goal. Scotland have level, and it's Lawrence Shankland. What a moment for the Hearts striker. Off the bench to level for Scotland in stoppage time. And you have to say it probably has been coming. Steve Clarke gets out from the dugout. He looks an awful lot happier. It's Georgia 2, Scotland 2.
There's constant pressure for the last sort of 5 minutes or so. The amount of balls they've thrown in the box in this last 5 minutes is more than they've done in the rest of the match. And when you put that ball in the box and Shankland's there, there's every chance he's getting on the end of it. And there's a brilliant header.
Yeah, and there are 3 of them up there as well. John McGinn almost put Shanklin off trying to get to it, but he's just drifted in the back of the Scotland midfielder, and they popped into the back of the net. Good crosses. I think it was Stuart Armstrong that just drifted it towards the back post with a cross, and when you're getting as many crosses as that into the box, you're always expecting
you're going to get chances, aren't you?
To come off it. Yeah.
Well, the dreaded VAR check is is in progress. Check over. So that goal will stand.
Yeah.
And Lawrence Shankland has his second on his 6th Scotland cap. He's played just 4 minutes for the national side since the Euro 2020 playoff semi-final against Israel. He's had to wait for his chance. Shea Adams pulled out. He's called up in place of Adams, and then he's popped up with a goal. And that's what he's all about in the penalty area.
Absolutely. And if he can dominate matches and throw the ball in the box, or even if he gets the ball round about the box, he invariably gets a shot away.
Spells danger here for Scotland as Kvaratskhelia comes forward. He tries to play it in behind, but it's a weak pass, and McKenna collects, and now it's with Armstrong on the left hand side midway through his own half. He's trying to chip it forward to chasing Shankland, and it goes through to the goalkeeper Dashvili, who got a hand to that Shankland dart. I'm sure there will be question about whether he could have done better. It's not looked that convincing tonight. Scotland don't care either way, and they've got 3 minutes now to find a winner.
Well, Craig called it earlier, the game is not over. Scotland know how to score late goals.
Ferguson collects off the thigh on the right hand side. McGinn turns, he's driving towards the box. John McGinn, it's deflected back off him into the penalty area. Kakabadze will collect. He's not under enough pressure, and he'll drive out of his penalty area and then chip it up the right hand touchline. McLean gets ahead on it. Armstrong got the best touch. He then slides in and claims he won the ball, but he's given away the free kick, and he's going to go in the book. And
don't know about
that one. Seemed a bit
harsh.
He seemed to have got the ball.
Yeah, it looked a decent challenge, looked a decent tackle. Don't think the referee got that one right. Stuart Armstrong not noted for his tough tackling.
Well, I was going to say, is he the archetypal, not that type of player? Yeah.
Yeah, we'd take this, will you? 2 each.
Yeah, I think the way the games went, better second half than the first half. I think it
Very
suits
much
us.
so.
Yeah, it suits us when we're at a high tempo rather than the low, kind of a sluggish passing.
Yeah,
with the first half.
45 minutes of that in the first half, but the second half has been better without doubt.
Yeah, and David Hashvili, the Georgian substitute forward, is down receiving some treatment, or Scotland fans looking an awful lot happier. I'm sure Georgia will be incredibly frustrated because they were on course for third victory in this campaign. They would have moved them on to 10 points, level with Norway.
Thomas, did Tom have Shankland on his list to go to Germany?
I don't know, you can put the question to him in a few minutes' time.
I'm sure he didn't.
Well, Georgia take the free kick short. We've got 1 minute of the 7 left, but surely we're going to play beyond the 7 after the goal and that injury delay there. Maybe a couple of minutes left for Scotland to try and find a winner. They've been much better in this second half. Georgia just really had the one chance, and it's barely a chance. Kvaratskhelia took it, created it and finished it himself. It was just wonderful from him. And they have the throw in. Georgia midway through the Scotland half. Throw it backwards though to the defender. Plays it along to Kvaratskhelia, into Kashia, the captain. They're going to go long, are they? Kashia takes a couple of touches and he goes short to the left-hand side. Scotland trying to get back into their shape. Kvaratskhelia up there. And here's Kvabishvili back to the defence. Switch of play to the left. Almost kept in by Asakov. Then Georgia, not in too much of a hurry to find a winner. It's patient stuff, but they found space with a switch of play. The drive into the corner of the box, comes in, shot comes into the near post, and Xander Clark had to save it, and he spilled it, but was able to dive on the rebound comfortably enough. Cincinnati with the effort.
Yeah, it's good build-up play. Georgia really, when they had that lead, not any intent at all to get forward, but since equaliser, some really good play, some controlled play, and Xander Clark having to be at the right place, to make sure that one didn't sneak in at the near post.
Yeah, he had to be alert. He's had to make a couple of saves. His first Scotland start, and there is the full-time whistle. So Scotland stopped the rot in Georgia. They were heading for a third defeat from 3 in Tbilisi in their history, and a 4th defeat on the spin for Steve Clarke's side, but Lawrence Shankland's stoppage time header has snatched a point for Steve Clarke's side on the manager's 50th game in charge. It wasn't the best performance of the campaign, far from it, and they trailed after 15 minutes to Kvaratskhelia, slid in at the near post, and they went in at the break 1 down after a very lethargic, slow, insipid really first 45 minutes. They came out in the second half, had a bit more vim and vigour about them, a bit more tempo, and got themselves level. On 49 minutes, Scott McTominay with his 7th goal of this campaign, drilled in just at the edge of the box into the bottom corner. Goalkeeper never moved, but Georgia, who were pretty quiet in the second half, but they didn't need to create much. You've got a man like Kvaratskhelia, because he drove in from the left-hand touchline, beat Nathan Patterson with ease, and found the bottom corner brilliantly past Xander Clark to put Georgia back in front. Scotland's huffed and puffed. They created some chances. Dykes had a header, McTominay had a chance, Ferguson had a chance, but they kept going, and it was another late goal. They've enjoyed those in this campaign. Lawrence Shankland, who wasn't even in the initial squad, has barely featured on the pitch for Scotland in the last couple of years. He's bang in form for Hearts. He got on the end of a cross to the back post and nodded it on target. Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper, got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. There wasn't time really for any chances to force a winner, as the Scotland players go and applaud the throng of Tartan Army supporters who've made the long trip to Tbilisi. thank you, Stevie. They hold up a bed sheet that looks like in the away end. It has been a brilliant campaign from Scotland. They got the job done before tonight, and they've rescued a point as well late on here in Georgia. Full time to Tbilisi. Georgia 2, Scotland 2.